Hey, how are you? My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and this is our Monday edition of the Monday live draw. And every Monday, I come before you. We get together and we draw something that has to do with a landscape or a seascape or something. Usually outdoors. We do things that are sometimes indoors at all. But yeah, if you're new to the channel and this is your first time watching the live, I recommend. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for being here. But take a minute, and when we're done drawing, go to the description and find out about our Facebook page. It's a very active community. We post all the pictures that we're going to draw there. People are engaging and helpful, and you just can't go wrong with having a group of artists around you that are going to help you along the way. But anyways, one other thing, if you are new to the channel, I do ask that you subscribe, please, and throw a comment and give me a like for today's live draw. That's always helpful. So that's it. If you have any questions, I'm keeping my eyeballs on the feed here. So just jump right in and throw me a question. I'll be there to answer it for you. If I go too fast, ask me to slow down. That's the beauty of drawing live, that we can engage with each other. Okay? Let's go over, before we jump into this, I want to show you what I call tools of measurement. These are tools that I use, and they're in my head as I'm drawing. I'm thinking about them, that help me to keep everything in proportion. Okay, so there's a number of them, but there's actually 4 that I really like to use more than others. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, let me demonstrate on our picture here before we get started, and you could write them down on the side of your page if you want. All right. So a lot of times when I'm looking at my photograph that I'm drawing, or even if I'm actually looking, live at something, I will drop a vertical line in my mind to see where things are lining up. For example, if I wanted to get the right position of this house back here, okay, of this mountain, oh no, that's a house. Of that house in the back there, I might draw a straight line. I might visualize a straight line coming straight down to it. So that would tell me that the edge of this house lines up to the inside of the boat there, and lines up with this top rope on top of this crab trap right there. You see? So that first one, that's called a vertical line. A vertical line, and these are all 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all tools of measurement. I use these for everything whenever I'm drawing. Now, if you're drawing and you don't have a photograph, and you're looking at something out in, you're drawing it. What's the word I'm looking for here? If you're outside drawing it, you can actually just hold your pencil up and see, oh, what does this line up with here? That's one way, vertical. Okay, the next one that I'll use is a horizontal line. All right. So in this case, if I look at the boat here, we are looking, oh, look at this here. If I wanted to see where this was lining up, oh, look at that. The top of that crab trap lines up with the bottom of the boat. You see that? That would be a good alignment. What else can we do up here? Look at this. Okay, look. The bottom of that dock lines up with the top of the boat. You see that? So those are vertical lines, and of course you could extend your hand out there and take a measurement if you were drawing something, or even pull it back and get measurements if you were doing it live or doing it outside. Okay, you weren't drawing it from a photograph. All right, so those are the first 2. All right, another one I use is negative space. All right, what do I mean by negative space? Well, if I was, and we're going to use this, if I was going to draw this boat here, and I wanted to get, I'm going to change this to be a different color here, and I wanted to get this curve right, instead of trying to just figure out this curve here, what I might do is look at this negative space here. You see this? I might look at this negative space or negative shape and try and get that, copy that into my drawing. Here's another one. If you're trying to get the correct distance of these slats that go across the boat, you might look at this negative space. You see that? The distance, the shape, the space and the shape that's between objects. All right, so we'll use both of those to try and get our proportion correct. All right. Last thing I'll show you. Let's change the color green. Let's change it again. Last one is called the cartoon check. All right, cartoon check. What does that mean? Well, if I was to let's pretend like let's say this is my drawing down here, okay? And I put this boat in, or better yet, let's use this house as a reference back here. If I have my horizon line back there, and then I put my house, let's just say over here, if I take my eyes and I look at this first and then look at this second and jump back and forth, almost like a cartoon, I will see the house move on the page, and that's not what I want. I want the proportion to be the same. So it's kind of a cartoon check where you could quickly jump back and forth and make sure your things are all in the right position. Okay, so those are the 4 tools of measurement that I use when I am trying to get my proportion down correctly. All right, so just put that in the back of your mind, and hopefully that will come of help to you when we're drawing today. And even as we're drawing, I'm going to point it out. I will point out to you what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. Okay? Let me just pause for a minute and get a little coffee. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with this drawing. First thing, let's go ahead and start with a border. That's always a good start, right? And I will usually, when I am drawing, I usually think of a gesture first, and then I think of construction or trying to create 3D or mass or volume. Okay, so first is gesture. That's what I'm thinking. Second is construction. Get the construction down. And then third is adding detail. All right, so those are the 3 phases whenever I'm drawing that I think through. Okay, let's go ahead and get this horizon line, and it's toward the top there. You can see it going in just like that. And let's quickly gesture in where this house is. So I'm just going to guess, I'm going to look at what I'm going to do now is, ooh, look at that. Let's do something here before we get too far. Hold on here. I ended up drawing on the layer of my photograph. I do that a lot. Okay. All right, so first thing, let's put this house in, but before I do that, let's look at the negative shape. Look at this negative shape here. Look at that negative shape. You see that? I'm just going to think about that shape right there, okay? So here, if I look at my page there, I'm going to be somewhere about there, okay? And then another thing I could look at when I gesture in this house, look at this is the horizon line, okay? That house is almost coming up halfway. You see that? So I could quickly just put a little mark here like this. and then come down the right side here. Okay, that gives me a good idea of where that is at. All right, let's continue down the page here. Let's drop in this, we've got this little bit of land that comes almost across the top. And then let's look at the back end of the water here. And what I'm thinking is like this, this area of the water here. Let me move this over just a little bit more. Right there. From right there to right there, okay? So let's see if we can get a nice... These are the easy things. We could be really off and still make a great drawing on this. All right, great. Let's keep going here. Let's keep going. So let's just kind of guesstimate where this dock is going to come in on the right hand side there. Okay. Let's get this boat in. Let's get the beginnings of this boat in here. And let me show you how I want to do that. I want you to think of like these points on the boat. I'm going to make these big so you could see them, okay? These are key locations. Let's try and locate where those might be on our page, okay? So I'm just kind of looking. Now look at this. Now this is where our alignments are going to be helpful to us. Look at this here. This lines up. Oh, wow. That lines up almost directly in the middle of our house. You see that? And then this one is like halfway. You see that? It's almost like the equal distance. Cool. Let's put that in. So let's see here. That's going to be about halfway. And and it's right at the edge. You see that? It's like this is the edge of the grass there, and look how closely that little point is. So it's going to be right about there, I would say. And then the other one is, like I said, I'm going to go bam, and then another one right about there, and it's a little bit higher. Okay, I think it's just like that. That's pretty good. So we're just trying to establish where these key points are. Okay, let's see if we could figure out where this guy is. So if I drop a straight there, okay, that's pretty good. And, oh, now this is interesting. If I look at this here, look, this, if I go straight up here and straight down there, look at that. Look at the distance between these guys there. You see that? It's almost the same. So let's come over here, and then I'm going to come down here, and it's going to come down. All right, so I'm going to be somewhere in here, okay? Now let's look at this here. Let's see if we could figure this one out. Let's see where it is. If I come out to the side here, and that's, wow, look at that. That is almost half. You see that? So if it's here, it's going to be about half. I'm going to come right about there, I think. That's about halfway, wouldn't you say? All right. There it is. Okay, so that's it. So we've got our 3 points. And now let's look at trying to get these. Let's draw the line for the back of the boat. That's an easy right there. We just connect that. Okay, let's get these curves in. Okay, so let me erase some of these lines here as we we've got a lot of our measurements down, so now we can look at this curve. So all I'm going to do now is down here is I'm going to match the angle. So I'm watching the angle. Now I'm also looking at, when I'm drawing this, let me show you one more thing I'm looking at. Like I said earlier, look at this negative shape. You see this negative shape here? Let's try and match that shape, okay? So let's see if I come across there. I'm just looking at the shape coming down. Okay, that looks pretty good right there. And then right here, look, this is interesting to me. This almost lines up exactly. So this ball, the rest of that curve comes right below. Okay, so if I'm coming down here, okay, and then I'm going to have to come around I'm going to have to dip it down just a little bit. It's slow going at the first because we really want to get this perspective right. And if we can use all these measurements to kind of help us lock this stuff in, then it'll be easier once we start adding detail. All right, let's keep going now. So, okay, this angle on this side, that's not too bad. And, all right, so I can almost come down. This is not that bad to get this angle here. All right. I can work with that. Okay, so let's continue doing what we're doing here. This is a good exercise. So we've already established where this point is, and this point, and this point. Let's bring a point, oops, wrong color. Let's bring a point down here at the bottom, okay? So as we establish where that is, now let me, this is not going to be a straight line there. Let's not get confused. Let's go in and add this straight line here. This angled line of the bow of the boat. Okay. And then let's get this, the bottom point here. And we're just going to put a little mark there, a little dot. And I'm estimating that. I'm estimating that. All right, let's get this right side, the curve. And here, once again, this is a great opportunity to look at that negative shape right there. You see that? See that negative shape? We want to try and copy that. So let's see here. So we're going to come up. That looks pretty good to me. Okay, coming right along. You gotta trust what you see, not what you think, right? Okay, so let's get the bottom of the boat now. Okay, and let's come over here. All right, that's like, I kind of see that angle going there. You see that? Let's drop that in. And then this edge is going to just kind of curve around there. And there you go. That was awesome. That was a good exercise in trying to get that, using vertical and horizontal lines to get that, get those angles right. Okay. And if you're a little off, no big deal. This was good. Okay, let's go ahead and get that crab trap in here. Okay, so same thing. That's what I'm going to do here. So let's see. Let's take a look at look at this shape right there. That's a good shape. Okay, so let me try and get that shape in there. I'm drawing lightly because I'm going to come back and monkey with this, all right? And if you don't have to follow all these shapes and things I'm doing. If you can, look at this here. If you can eyeball it, then that's all even better. Look at that. Look at that angle. See that? And look at this. That matches that same exact angle there. So, okay, that's good. That's a good visual. Okay, we could probably come back here in the same angle that this part is right here. You see that? All right, I'm gonna just kind of guesstimate there how far back that goes. Top. Curved around like this. Coming right along. Okay, let me go ahead and erase some of this stuff I have here on this side here so we can get back and see the actual drawing. Okay, and I've got one more layer to do here. All right. All right, let's get these not gunnels, they're the I can't remember the name. But that's all right. So, first thing in the back of the boat is going to be curved. Now let's get that first one. Oh, great, Lolo. I'm glad that you appreciated that. Yep. All over. We just keep looking at things like almost like you are looking at constellations in the sky and trying to line up stars, you know? It really helps with proportion when we do that. And you know, I didn't even put this down, but when you get into figure drawing or drawing the human being, there are points all over the body that we use. We call them landmarks. A very common one, I will say, in our portrait class is always the pit of the neck. That's a landmark that you could see on everybody. Okay. All right. Enough of that. We'll keep going here. So let's get this first slat in the back of the boat. And the way I'm going to find it is, look, here's my drawing. Yep. Here's the back of the boat. We already know that. And look at this negative shape. Look at that right there. This distance, that's what we're looking for. And that will give us that back end there. So let's see. Let's just kind of guesstimate that. Do it lightly. Excellent. Now, the width of the width of that is very narrow. It's not that. It's pretty narrow, so we'll drop another light line in there. Okay, let's do it again. Let's look at this negative shape right there. You see that? That's about how wide that is there. So let's use that to help us estimate where our next plank is going to go. So let's see. Okay, it looks like it's about there. So we'll add a little extra on that, right? And we're just doing lightly right now. We'll come in and sharpen this up in a minute. Okay, now instead of looking at this one here, I'll change this to be green, a little bit easier. Instead of looking at this, look at this one here. Look at that. That's a much more easier shape to match. You see that? So let's kind of visualize that. Where is that going to go? That's going to come in here. Like, just make sure you're staying parallel with the ones behind there. Okay, I think that's what I'm going to do with mine. Erase all that. Okay. Let's look over here to this side here. Let's go over here to this side. And what I want to look at is look at that. I'm going to change this to be green. Look how where that's located. That edge is compared to the edge of the boat. You see that? All right, so let's do that. So we're going to be there, and then the edge is going to be just about there. Oh, beautiful. Now we could just kind of slowly walk along the sides of the boat there and get the edge of the next one. You see that? And then we could do the same thing on the other side. This is going to come around, so maybe this is going to be like this. And we'll just keep kind of walking along the side of the boat there, and that one's going to be right about there, right? And then this one will be covered. You won't really see that. But I like this plank of wood on the far side over here. So let's put that in. Okay. There's the back edge of my boat. Okay, now let's get I think the gunnels are the inside of the boat that are on the inside of the round part there. So let's put one in back here, and it's just gonna come down here, and we can't really see the others, but let's just slowly work our way up the side. And then they start to get closer together here. So for my taste, I'm just gonna wing it just a little bit. All right, jump into the other side. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. I'm looking at this dark area right in here. Okay, that dark area. And I'm changing the angle of, like, I like to sweep with my hand. That gives me a nice curve if I draw like this. So I'm actually turning. Here, I'll show you what I mean. I'm actually turning my drawing at a better angle. So if you were using a sketchbook, by all means, feel it's okay to spin it in order to get that right angle, and makes your curves a much nicer sweeping motion with your hand. Okay. All right, look at this gunnel right here. It curves around like this, just like that. You see that? Let's follow that line. There it is right there. Look at that. Let's curve the rest of these here. Just kind of coming along here, and if they're not perfectly right, that's okay. I think the key is you get the right curve of the boat, and then you're in business. I'm going to erase some of these straight measuring marks. Okay. Good. All right, let's look at this look at the bow of the boat here. Look at this like piece of metal. I'm not even sure if it is paint coming down or what, but I'm gonna mark that guy in there. And just so that you know, when I draw, there's a thing about pencil pressure. I like to push down and then pull up. Push down and pull up when I make my stroke, and it creates a taper in the stroke that I think gives it a lot of makes it come alive in a sense. So it's not so straight and mechanical. All right, let's get the big old fat edge here of the boat. All right, so it's coming around like this, maybe, right? And then this side, the same thing. It's gonna follow suit there, right? And again, look at that. I tried to draw that curve. This was very awkward. So if I spin my sheet all the way around, and you might have to spin your your sketchbook around to get this angle just right. You'll feel it. You definitely will feel it in your arm when you're doing it. If it feels awkward, then spin your page, okay? All right. Let's walk away from our boat for a little bit and jump on over to this crab trap, okay? I'm thinking of these like where it's wrapped with rope around the edges. I'm just thinking that of like this thickness coming around. So I'm just going to, for the time being, just kind of draw the outside part of that thickness. You see that? And then this looks like it. Drawn it lightly, not totally dark yet. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap some rope. All I'm going to do on this rope is just kind of use surface lines to indicate like thickness here. Looking at the picture closely. Same thing on this side. Okay, back end. And this, you almost can't even see it. We're going to add tone to this in just a second. Okay, let's jump back into our boat here. And what I want to do is I want to add, if you look in our boat, it has some incredible looking shadows. And the shadows are really dark. So what I want you to do is I want you just to think of the shadow as shape. For example, now watch how I shade the, I'm only thinking of like what is the darkest shadow in my boat. Okay, so I'm thinking only of shape here. So I'm going to go right in here and literally go as dark as I possibly can and think of just this interesting shape that I've got going. Okay, then this is going to come. Now, when I get up to the bow here, watch this. There's these things like this. It has a very interesting shape to it. And I'm only thinking of the shape of those dark shadows. Okay. Same thing down here now. This is, go slowly, and I swear to you, once I get done with mine, I'm going to slow down and give you a second to get caught up so you don't have to feel rushed. And if it's not exact, totally okay, because these are very interesting negative shape. Oop, a little too far there. Okay, let's come in with half value. All right, so what do I mean by that? Watch my drawing. There's half value right there. You see that? Then I'm going to take that same value, and if I'm going too fast, just tell me to slow down here. I'm going to drop that same value in on this side of the boat. Okay, let's get the shadow of this boat, and I'm just going to just watch this. Just create a giant shape, just like this. How's this crab trap? We'll just kind of do this right here, right? It's pretty dark down in there. All right, let's get this dock. Let's put the nice dark value where this dock is as well. And then let's take the value on the side, on the shadow area of the boat, and just completely fill in same exact value, this island area in the back. We'll come back and redefine that before we're done. And I'm also going to add that same value a little bit underneath the seats here, because look at the contrast in those slats that are going across the look at the contrast in how much light the top of those slats are getting compared to everything that's underneath. You see that? So we really want to sharpen those edges up. All we're doing is laying a groundwork of value right now. All right. Let's go ahead and just look at the value difference between the grass and the water. You see that? There's a slight difference there. So let's just kind of come in here and add one more overall tone to the entire area that has grass on it. Yep, one overall area there. This when we start putting our grass in, this is going to make a huge difference. We've got enough of our construction down now to where we can really start to think about our values. And as I'm looking at the values, I'm going to darken in my shadow area just a little bit more. Look how dark look at this right here. Look at this comparison. This is really interesting. No, I don't want to do that. Look at this here. Look at the value of this right there. Right? Look at the inside of that compared to the value of that. You see that? Those are really extreme. Now look at my drawing. I have mine almost equal. All right? So let's let's kind of come back in here and add some more tone to the shadowed area down here. I don't know what yours look like, but you could really see a difference in mine, and it definitely needs to go darker. Okay, I think that's better. Hey, Edmund, what's up, my friend? Edmund, did you vote? Vote so a dad who draws wins. Then I can come visit you. I can make a stopover at St. Lucia. All right, enough of this. All right, let's keep going here, right? All right, let's jump back into our boat here and start adding some detail here. All right, we've got, so how am I going to do this? So all I'm going to do is just kind of freely add some lines here. I'm not going to get into all this detail of the ropes, as you can see. I'm just going to add some small strokes that are very rope-like. You see this? So it looks like there's just a lot of, all right. All right, I see that. Yeah, so I'm just adding some strokes, pencil strokes, to help clarify that there's a bunch of junk in this boat. Oh, old ropes and things of that sort. Yeah, we don't have to go in a lot of detail, just enough to indicate that that there's stuff on the inside. Okay. All right, let's get this anchor. This anchor is a nice straight line here. So we're going to come in right on top of everything, just like that. He kind of leans up here and then comes down like this. Okay, let's put this chain in, and I'm just going to kind of, doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of give kind of a chain feel to it. And when I'm making my chain, I'm just kind of doing this sort of thing. Then a straight line, then a straight line. Yep, just something like that, okay? And it looks like there's another chain coming over here. Changing the angle just a little bit. And I'm just going to keep moving over to rope now. And the rope looks like it's kind of going over the boat. I'm following it. It kind of comes all the way down. And when I'm drawing the rope, I'm thinking of like I'm thinking of S curves and regular C curves, okay? Oops, we forgot to put the sides of that boat in place. So I'm just kind of walking around and feeling my way around that rope there. Okay, I'm going to put these planks in here. And they're lighter on the other side, of course. Edmund, do you fish? Do you fish on St. Lucia? Or there's... You mainly leave that up for others. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to come in here now and add some. I know like this crab trap has more. How would I, these X's, I'm just not interested in making them perfect, because when somebody sees my drawing, they won't, generally speaking, they won't be seeing this picture next to it. Oh, you do? Okay. And all right, there we go. Now the hull of this boat is still lighter than the oh yeah, it's relaxing. All right, there you go. You're gonna take me out fishing, right? we're going fishing together one day, huh? Oh, shore fishing. Yes, nice. Okay, let's add some grass in here, and I'm just going to, when I'm putting this grass in, I'm pushing down and pulling up with my strokes. See, now all this extra tone that we laid down will help to really describe this as grass. All right, then when I get to the lighter side, I'm gonna ease up a little bit, right? How much time? How are we doing on time here? All right, we're almost up on the hour. Let's jump. Let's go ahead and jump. Let's jump out here to our house on this mountain here, and look at this. Look at that. Look at the dark versus light. Okay, and I want you to think of this as a silhouette, and I want you to think of that shadow as more shape than anything else. Okay, so when I come over to mine, watch what I'm going to do here. I'm just thinking of that silhouette on one side there, and this is kind of following, has some part of this mountain here. You see this? Okay, so I'm just adding some shadow in the land back there. See, just doesn't have to be perfect. Oh yes, thank you. All right, boats. Look at these boats. Now, don't make these boats too big. They're in the distance, so they've got to be really small. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just kind of just indicate. I'm going to draw it lightly, something just like that. You see that? That's like, this one's a little bit closer here, so we can just make them small. Don't. They don't have to be perfect. They'll just give the viewer, like, oh, it will give a sense of scale and size. Our cat just decided to claw my leg a little bit. Yeah. One of these days, cat. All right. I am not a cat person. I'll tell you, I'll take a dog any day of the week over a cat. But yeah, you heard me. Right, let's add a little tone to this ocean back here, right? Just a little bit of tone, not much. And this sky, I'm barely gonna put anything in it, but just something. Some change of value, right? There's some like little shadows and texture in the ocean here. You see that? Okay, last thing we need to do is get maybe this, you could add this net back here. You see this? Looks like another trap that's kind of, the grasses are growing up there. Okay, that's going to be it. Boom, I think we're done. So as I look at this now, as I'm looking at mine, and I could kind of use the cartoon check to see, you know, at my vote, my boat versus the one in the picture, and it looks like my boat ended up slightly narrower. You see that? But that's okay. You know, I'm just going to own it. I'm going to keep moving on. So, listen, thank you so much for watching today. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. And Lolo, good to see you. And Edmund, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, please like this video and add a comment. Or better yet, join us on our Facebook group where you can keep in contact with everything and seeing what we're up to each and every day. Okay? Thanks for watching, everyone. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. Okay, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.